You may not know this about me, but once in a while, I like to reminisce. And this particular story pertains to the winter of 2028. For the night was dark and full of terrors. Oh wait, wrong story. It was a frigid, snowy night, with a pleasantly crisp breeze. Ha! I remember it well, because it was the day that Path of Exile 2 finally got released. From alpha testing to beta testing, oh, 'twas a joyful moment indeed. I remember glancing at the minuscule amount of porridge that was cooking in a tiny steel pan on the stove. I began to reflect back on what I had accomplished that year, and the list was quite opulent, but I'll share just the highlights. The number one most incredible thing that happened has to be Chris Wilson replacing John Stamos as the voice of Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy 7. For those of you who don't know, John Stamos replaced Vin Diesel in Guardians of the Galaxy 5 when the directors decided they needed a younger actor to play the part. At the time, the directors said, and I quote, "No Stamos, no Waymos," but I convinced them otherwise. I later planted the bug in Chris's ear to audition for John's role in the first place. That's right, without me, there would have been no Guardians of the Galaxy 5 through 7. Number 2. I was finally able to make the truest of hybrid builds in Path of Exile. Without going into too much detail, since you may have not seen this new ascendancy yet, it was a character that utilized life, mana, energy shield, ward, mithril shield, and this character could do it all. Cast spells, attack with abyssal whip, fish with harpoons. It was truly an amazing build. 3. I was part of the team that designed the 3.55 Rapunzel League. As you all know, in 2026, Disney purchased the rights to PoE and began implementing their own game mechanics. I know many people complain about the Tangled being the most difficult Disney League, but I had a blast collecting poorly drawn wanted posters of Flynn Rider and smashing enemies in the face with a frying pan. Probably the most fun league I've ever played, if I'm being totally honest. Now, that year wasn't perfect though. There are a few things that made me make the sad panda face, such as in 3.41, Avatar The Last Exile Bender League. I started crafting a Beano's Restaurant rope dart, and I was never able to finish it. I got the wind damage quite high, something like 400 W DPS, but the earth damage never came together. I also regret that when I was asked to voice over Zaina's older brother's lines, I totally blew it. I just kept messing up my lines, so Rory finally told me after a few weeks of recording that they would unfortunately go with their second choice because I just wasn't working out. Anywho, George Clooney did a decent job, so I can't be too mad. Last one of note, for me, was ExileCon 4. We had the usual suspects racing. Yep, you guessed correctly. I'm Exile, Ty23, Tai, and Barbara. Needless to say, Exile finally defeated his rival by 4 seconds, only to be disqualified just 2 weeks later, when the officials at PoE found an imposter living among the PoE staff. The imposter is in jail, serving a life sentence now, so everything is fine, but what he did was unthinkable. The imposter went into the PoE code and programmed into I'm Exile's race instance an additional and guaranteed Blue Borg orb drop from Fritava, the Act 17 boss, allowing I'm Exile to buy the necessary Windscar gem, which subsequently allowed him to be quicker than he should have been and to win the race. It was indeed a sad moment in PoE history, but my bus is here, so I gotta go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with another beautiful video. I just kept messing up my lines, so Rory finally told me after a few weeks of recording that they would unfortunately go with the... I keep messing up my lines right now! Ah!